Force Delta 5, Fox checking in. Hey everyone, I'm sorry if my voice seems a bit off today. I'm a bit sick. I don't know what's wrong. We're going out to chase an SCP down today, and I randomly passed out. I've been having these blackouts since I got back from the last one. Huh. I guess there might be something in the juice. Anyway, for all you geeks out there, I've got a really good one for you. You might want to check this out. SCP Item Number 003. Object Class Elusive. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-100. SCP-003 is to be maintained at a constant temperature of no less than 35 degrees Celsius and ideally kept above 100 degrees Celsius. In an event of total power failure, assigned personnel must use their body heat to keep SCP-003-1 above the critical temperature. All personnel who have come into physical contact with SCP-003-1 are to immediately report sterilization afterwards. SCP-0031 must not be removed from SCP-0032 except in a case of an emergency procedures detailed above. Any significant change in SCP-0032's rune activity, including pattern, frequency, or color, should be reported within 3 hours of occurrence. Cessations of rune activity must be reported immediately. SCP-0032 must be supplied with the power via the source-designated generator 0034 at all times. Refer to attachment document for details. Description: SCP-003 was located by remote viewing team SRV-04 Beta. See attached documents. SCP-003 consists of two relative components of separate origins, referred to as SCP-0031 and SCP-0032. SCP-0031 appears to be composed of chitin hair and nails, known biology similar to, arranged in configurations similar to that of a computer motherboard. Testing reveals that SCP-0031 to predicate earliest known circuit boards by SCP-0031 is considered sentient but not actively dangerous except under certain conditions. See agenda and attached documents. SCP-0031 was found on a stone tablet. SCP-0032 on which it currently resides. The runes on SCP-0032 are not part of any known language and flicker with pale tones. These are effects of communication interpretable by analysis has shown that SCP-0031 and SCP-0032 have different origins. SCP-0032 is controlled by a non-biological internal computer, the contents of which are mostly inaccessible without risk of damaging SCP-0032. SCP-0032 is capable of control emissions of radiation, including heat, and it is considered probable that SCP-0032 was created for the purpose of containing SCP-0031. Methods detailed in Addendum 0031 have allowed access to some data contained in SCP-0032. While interpretation is not conclusive, contents may refer to past and or potential future. Class restricting event caused by SCP-0031. SCP-0032 contains an internal power source of which appears to have been losing power since before discovery by SRV-04 Beta. It appears possible that SRV-04 Beta was deliberately contacted by SCP-0032 via. Other organizations have also been alerted to SCP-003's existence, possibly by similar means. Despite this activity, SCP-0032 does not appear to be set in it based on and its lack of reaction to, including M03 Georgia procedures, Gloria procedures. When SCP-003 Gloria procedures. When SCP-003 drops below the temperature of 35 degrees Celsius, both components react. First, SCP-0031 enters a growth state characterized by exponential increased mass. This growth state consists of two stages. In both stages, SCP-0031 partially fuels its growth by converting matter around it, starting with any surrounding inorganic material, including atmospheric elements, then non-living organic material, including cells of dead skin, hair, chitin, enamel, keratin, and other biological materials. The first stage is called the default stage. The second stage begins with SCP-0031 coming into contact with an organic living material. In its second state, SCP-0031 may pause, slow, or change its growth rate, and will also reprocess inorganic and non-living elements into functionally similar structures while growth is constant in the first stage. The second stage of SCP-0031's growth rate is diminished by 20 to 90%, so long as SCP-0031 remains in contact with living organic material. The percentage is determined by the complexity of the organism or organisms in contact with SCP-0031. As confirmed by readings of SCP-0031 appears to devote a large amount of processing power to pause. Fucking dogs. You're recording, goddammit. Go. Get. SCP-0031 appears to devote a large amount of processing power to analyze, to analysis and analysis power to analyze living organic material. During each of SCP-0031's growth stages, SCP-0032 SCP-0032 releases bursts of radiation that temporarily inhibits SCP-0031's growth or reverse this growth when temperature of SCP-0031 rises above 100 degrees Celsius. Similar radiation emissions may be produced via addendum 0031 acting on information gathered from linguistic analysis of SCP-0032 runes and research team MG-03 Gloria has managed to establish a link between SCP-003 and for analysis of functions. SCP-0031 must now be considered sentient and is to be kept under a minimum of 1 kilometer from and the resulting byproduct at all times. Addendum 0032. SCP-0032's power has been excalibrated by the procedures performed by M03 Gloria on orders of O5. M03 Gloria will continue procedures. Addendum 003-03. During this process, SCP-0031 doubts its mass and begins rapid structural growth. Temperature was immediately returned to 100 degrees Celsius. Growth and mass increase of SCP-0031 continued for 9 minutes and 6 seconds, at which time a sustained radiation spike was produced by SCP-0032. In response, SCP-0031 returned to its normal state in 3 minutes and 39 seconds. New growth dissolved into a dusty residue in which collected for analysis. Both SCP-0031 and SCP-0032 ceased all detectable activity. SCP-0032 did not resume any activity until connected to external power source. SCP-0032's runes glowed uniformly gray and did not resume activity for 3 hours afterwards. SCP-0032 no longer appears to be designed, and afterwards, SCP-0032 no longer appears to be able to maintain containment area at a temperature above 35 degrees Celsius without external power supply by designated generator 003 III through IX. Addendum 0034. Procedures detailed in Addendum 00303 were repeated, and SCP-0031 again entered growth state. After 10 minutes and 13 seconds, SCP-0032 once again pronounced a substantial radiation spike. SCP-0031's growth stopped after 36 seconds, then resumed at its previous pace. On quadrupling its mass, SCP-0031 formed a coherent outer shell and body, which initially took a form in shape to an ophirtoid brittle star of 15 meters in diameter, which including what appears to be a central processor of meters in diameter, formed sensory organs that appeared to scan the surrounding environment and partially covered its containment area too. SCP-0031 then breached containment, entering the observation gallery where nine members of M03 Gloria were present. On a physical contact with team members, SCP-0031 entered a stage 2 of its growth and SCP-0031 stopped growth for 15 minutes. SCP-0031 then resumed growth and rearranging the component parts of the center of its form to gather a shape of 3 meters tall female humanoid with peripheral tentacles shifting to extrude primarily from an SCP-0031's newly formed hair and spine. SCP-0031 then produced rudimentary vocalization, and an unknown Caucasian male, later identified as, approached the compromised containment area in company of full squad agents, claimed to be acting on orders of O5 and attempted communication with SCP-0031. Agent of M03 Gloria successfully restored power to SCP-0032 and active backup generators to return temperature to 100 degrees Celsius. SCP-0031 returned to its normal state in 21 minutes and 7 seconds and was successfully recontained without incident. All 9 members of M03 Gloria affected by SCP-0031 were afterwards found to be physically unharmed with no residual effects besides minor psychological trauma. The converted materials of SCP-003's former containment area did not dissolve and are now under analysis. Addendum 003-05. In light of previous incident O5 by joint decision of O5, O5, and O5, all M03 Gloria procedures have been indefinitely suspended. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. Let's hope you guys stay safe, and here's to you guys coming back next week. Have an awesome week and stay safe.